Craighead Christmas Message 2021. Like the two Old Town boys who go on a crazy ride along with Bill Murray's character in the film Groundhog Day, you can be forgiven for thinking that every day since the pandemic started has been the same. You can be forgiven for thinking it has been nothing more than a never-ending series of mask-wearing events, vaccine injections and news stories of new variants that may or may not make all those actions meaningless. And that, in the face of all the restrictions imposed on you, nothing you do matters. But you're mistaken. What you do does matter, especially to your friends and family. Indeed, as Bill Murray's character realized, if you are stuck in your own personal time loop, where everything you do doesn't matter, you have the freedom to make small changes to your life every day. After all, if what you do doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter if you try something new and make a fool of yourself because nothing you do matters, right? Of course, you're not in a time loop. It only feels that way sometimes. So, take heart and remember that, just like water erodes rock over time, you can move even the most difficult of problems in your life if only you put your shoulder to the task. Perhaps the lockdowns we've experienced over the last year might explain why millions of people just like you have quit their jobs, put down the masks they've been wearing over their souls and are trying to find work attuned to their true selves. Perhaps the gift the pandemic has given us is time away from our daily routines, time and space to step back from our lives to see if the way we have lived up until now has made us happy. Perhaps it has helped us see what we want to do when this long winter of the soul ends. Of course, if you feel trapped, just like Bill Murray's character, feel like a prisoner in your life, it begs the question, who is the prison guard? You may not like us for saying this one bit, but the person who is trapping you in an unhappy life is you. It's your feelings, your thoughts and your beliefs about life that are making you unhappy, not the universe outside your head. The world can be brutal and unforgiving at times, but physical pain and suffering are nothing compared to the pain you experience from your thoughts, feelings and beliefs. Echoing much of the sentiments in Groundhog Day, Viktor Frankl, in his book Man's Search for Meaning, gives a detailed account of the treatment he and his fellow prisoners experienced at the hands of Nazi guards. He recalls in vivid detail how some people couldn't cope with the unjust treatment they received. Seeing no escape from their tormentors, some of his fellow prisoners committed suicide. They grabbed onto the electric fences around the camp and electrocuted themselves or simply refused to eat and so starved to death. Frankl asked himself the question, why are some people able to endure the horrors of the death camps while others cannot? He discovered that the reason wasn't necessarily because they were the strongest, bravest or most intelligent individuals. No, it was those prisoners who had some ultimate meaning in their lives that endured the worst conditions of the concentration camps. As Frankl said, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Fortunately, we will never have to endure the horrors that Viktor Frankl experienced. But for many of us who bear the ordinary misery the pandemic has brought, we can quickly come to feel like we're living the same day over and over again. Our escape from this feeling is to recognize that, while our lives may seem like prisons without bars, we are free. Despite all the pain and suffering still to come our way, we know we can make small changes that cause many ripples over time. We can put our shoulders to the task of life, and we can stubbornly refuse to give up our ultimate freedom, the freedom to choose our own way, to choose our own meaning in life. And if we can do that, we can break free of the chains that bind us to unhappiness and put down the masks over our hearts so we can be our authentic selves even if we still must wear masks over our faces for months to come.